Hello, beautiful people. How are we doing? I'm Ray Fandango, and this is Ray Fandango Talks Movies. And of course, today we're going to be doing Ray Fandango's Top Trumps. Oh, yes, that's right. That's where I get two movies and I pit them against each other with stats that I've essentially made up myself, and I'm reviewing them at the same time. So it's a little bit of fun, a little bit of competition, you know what I mean? You love movies? Well, you've come to the right place, because I love the movies. I love the good ones, I love the bad ones, I love the old ones, and I love the new ones. I do have a little bit of affection for the older ones, maybe, as you can probably tell from my catalogue and today's choices, but hey, what are you going to do? Sue me. This Top Trumps is going to be Creature Feature Edition. That's two movies with creature in each one, and we're going to see how they pit against each other and which one comes out on top. They're both horror sci-fis, and they're two films that I've never watched before, so I love that, because that way it's all fresh, it's all juicy. Oh baby, we'll love it a little bit juicy. So guys, let's stop dilly-dallying and let's get down to business, alright? Let's put these competitors together and see who wins. Okay, folks, I've got the obligatory referee top on. Don't adjust your screens. You're right, it is getting tighter. I don't know why. Maybe I just love the snacks. Also, maybe I've just been hitting the gym so hard. Probably snacks more so, actually. All right, folks, let's have a look at today's competitors. So we have The Terror Within from 1989. Again, like I say, it's a horror/sci-fi. The premise is it's a dystopian future, and there's only a few humans left. They're all part of a disease sort of company that's what's wiped out humans, and there is some mutated beings that are amongst them. They call gargoyles. That'll be the creatures from this movie. And in the other corner, we have The Brain from 1988. This one is a little bit different. It's essentially this alien brain is controlling people at this small town through a TV, making them hallucinate, making them do terrible things. And this sort of Ferris Bueller style kid is essentially the main protagonist, and he has to avoid the brain and try and destroy it ultimately. They're both, like I say, they're both horror sci-fis. They're both obviously a little bit different. The Terror Within is mostly contained in a base. Think kind of like a shoddy alien, you know, whereas The Brain is mostly focused on a town. It's kind of reminiscent to Nightmare on Elm Street, if I'm honest, with the hallucinations, but it's sort of got a little its own twist where it can happen at day or night. But I guess that does actually happen in the Nightmare on Elm Street anyway, so ignore me. It's basically the same thing. So we've got an Alien ripoff, and we've got a Freddy Krueger ripoff. All right, folks, let's begin. Strap yourselves in, get the popcorn out, put the kettle on. Let's see these two duke it out. Our first category is going to be story. We need to know what's going on, right? I mean, what makes these creatures so great? They can't just chuck a creature on a screen and just hope for the best. I mean, I've watched a few movies like that before, but let's start with The Terror Within. So The Terror Within, like I say, they're all sort of in this bunker. It's on 3 different levels, and they're sort of hunkered in it. They find a girl outside who is pregnant, and they bring her in, and this girl's baby is one of those gargoyle creatures. So it runs out of its belly, very reminiscent of Alien, and it grows exponentially into one of the big gargoyles. And this crew wants to kill this thing as much as this thing seems to want to kill them. Now, what was the story like? Well, I don't know, if I'm honest. It felt very melodramatic. Think sort of Star Trek. And now I know I might get a lot of flack for that. I like Star Trek, I do. But I don't really like the way it's shot, you know. It's sort of quite slow, and, you know, everyone seems to be a bit way more dramatic than they need to be. The humor doesn't really land, if I'm honest. Yeah, you know what? I feel like I needed more from something that is only based in one place. Characters weren't very likable. Like, you've got a Kurt Russell wannabe. The rest of the team are just sort of idiots. So I was quite bored, if I'm honest, so I'm going to give that a 1.5 out of 5. Then we have The Brain. Now, this one I really did like, because, I mean, what can I say? It's essentially It's essentially Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. You know, these people watch the TV and they get brainwashed, and the whole town sort of slowly getting brainwashed. And this kid, for some reason, they can't seem to tap into him. you know, I guess he's the chosen one. Tried to make him get hallucinated, but he has another none of it. Goes out of the hospital, then he goes back into it, and he's trying to destroy this brain while the whole town's essentially getting taken over. And I like that. You know, like I say, I did like the fact that he had these hallucinations. It was a lot more interesting thing to see. And yeah, I did like the way that the story flowed, if I'm honest. And it was shot a lot better, a lot more fast paced, and had a few surprises, I tell you that much. So this one's going to get a 3.5 out of 5 for me. Our next category is going to be creature attributes, because I mean, that's what we came here to see, isn't it? We want to see how funky this creature is and how scary it is, right? So we're going to flip it and we're going to start with the brain. Now, it sounds silly, but it's essentially just a giant big brain with a face. But it's gnarly, man. It's true. It's got these big eyes and a sunken face and really grotesque snarl, and it's massive. Like it starts quite small and then it gets just bigger and bigger and bigger. And I thought it was really freaky to look at. So this one again is very high for me. We're going to give it 4.5, guys. Then we have the Terror Within. I'm not adverse to a man in a suit. I'm not. It's reminding me of like the alien from Night Beast if it had sex with the supervillain from Power Rangers. And he's just got these big teeth that come out there, and you know, he sort of walks about the place, but you know, it really is just, there was nothing sort of scary about it. And for some reason it seems to be immune to lasers but not to an arrow in the neck, and it doesn't like dog whistles. There's a point where it's sort of crawling through the vents, again, alien, and it just looks really cumbersome and like not scary at all. Just a man who's trying to sort of get through these vents. So yeah, really poor work, if I'm honest. I'm going to give it a 1.5 out of 5. Our next category is going to be overall horror. How much did it give me the heebie-jeebies, you know? So with the Terror Within, now it's not that scary. It's, I don't know, it's a creature, I guess, in a bunker, and you know, it can kill people with a single swipe, but I think the only thing that scared me was these people's decisions. Like, you know, there's a point where one of them, they are all walking around trying to find this alien, and a couple of them got laser guns and a couple of them got flamethrowers, but then they just decided to be really badly with them. Like, this alien sort of sneaks up on them, even though it's like 6'6" and built like a brick shithouse, and they just forget that they've got weapons. Like, it's not that quick. It's only as quick as a human, and I know they might be scared. I guess that's the point, but come on, man, like, just keep that thing in the ready, and if you see something that's not a human, blast it. But hey, I guess the film would have ended pretty quickly otherwise. Whereas with the brain, oh man, like I said, the hallucinations were great. The film really starts with this girl. She's got this teddy bear, and it just starts bleeding out of his eyes, and then these hands come out of the TV and also out the wall, and then she's got like these tentacles coming out. And then her mum comes upstairs and gets wrapped in the tentacles, and she thinks she's stabbing the tentacles, but she's actually just stabbing her mum. And then what happens is this brain comes out of the door and chucks her out of the window, and I'm like, whoa, that was sick. Like, okay, I'm freaked out. There's a giant brain that can do some damage or make you think that you're doing damage. The brain just looks so grotesque, and it just sort of came out of nowhere. You know, every now and again it would just appear, and you're like, oh, and it's making you feel like you're going mad. It's making you see things that aren't there. And I think that's definitely a lot scarier thing. Given Terror Within 0.5, the brain is going to get a 3.5 out of 5 for sure. Right, now we have the kill rate. And this is essentially, how effective does this creature kill? How many things does it kill? What are the coolest kills? The brain has got some sick kills in it. It really does. Like I said, the beginning with the daughter killing the mum and jumping out the window. Then you've got the brain jumping out of its petri dish and eating a woman whole, and then that's when it sort of produces its face. So the more it eats, the more it sort of evolves. And you've got this bit where the teenagers are trying to escape from this mental institute, and out of nowhere it just bursts through a wall like the Kool-Aid man and munches one of his friends. Just nom, 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 nom. Very good at eating this. There's another bit where, because they get mind control, this woman gets mind control and she ends up like sawing her partner in half. And there's a henchman called, I like to call Neanderthal David Harbour, and he gets munched right at the end. For all his efforts, he's been chasing this kid for that whole movie, and then the brain's just like, nah, you'll do for a little bit of lunch. So the kill rate is definitely going to be a 3 out of 5 here. And the Terror Within. So yeah, despite it not being a very good creature, it is effective at killing. It kills 2 of the crew in quick succession, just ripping out their throats. Kind of kills this woman because what it does is it impregnates her somehow. He's only with her within 2 minutes, and it's sort of trying to slash at her, but I think it either has sperm in its fingernails or it can just do it with its mind, because this woman ends up pregnant. So as much as visually the kills weren't that cool, but yeah, it is effective at killing. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Hey, there you go. I've done it. Now we have the finale. How did they kill this creature? How did it all end? How do they save themselves from this monster? Now, the terror within, what happens is they try to flamethrower it, kills it for a second, but then it can regenerate, which again, I guess is a pretty cool feature, but it can be pierced. What they do is they trap it in a little shuttle thing, turn on a fan, and it gets mincemeat. And you don't really see much of the mincemeat, if I'm honest. There's 2 survivors, and then they leave to go find another bunker, I believe, and then just go, let's blow this up. So they blow up these other gargoyles. They blow them up. So yeah, they do pretty well. I don't know how many other gargoyles are out there. Obviously, those are just the gargoyles that were tormenting them. So yeah, they do all right, but visually, it wasn't really that cool to see. So I'm going to give that one a 2 out of 5. There you go. I'm being generous there, I think. So then we got the brain. Basically, I need to kill the brain, and then everyone else should go back to normal. Makes sense, right? So he goes back there, and all the town are there, and they're going to do a live stream. All this time, there's been this sort of human psychiatrist figure that's been the one controlling people via the brain, I think. They might be connected, they might be separate, I'm not really sure how that works. But he's on stage and he sort of goes, yeah, I've had enough of this, punches his head clean off, and ends up like a greeny, gooey mess on the stage, and you're just like, whoa. That was pretty cool. Wasn't expecting that. Then he managed to save his missus, and this brain is coming to get him, and they're running away, and it sort of gets lodged between 2 shelves, and he doesn't know what to do, and he's like, oh, wait a minute, and he sees a jar of sodium, and he doesn't realize at first, and he just starts whacking it over the head, and that's not doing anything. But then it goes back to a thing that he did earlier in the film, where he dropped some sodium in a toilet and blew it up. So he's like, oh, I'll put a bit of water in this, thing's going to go boom. And that's what he does. He chucks it in its mouth, and it just sees all this smoke coming out of it, and a bit of lightning, and that's the way to do it. If you're going to blow up a giant brain with a face, chuck some bloody sodium in it, baby. So that's a 3.5 out of 5. Very good finale. Me gusta mucho. So, folks, there we have it. We've got the terror within versus the brain. Who's come out top? Well, I think we know. I think it's a bit of a landslide, this. That's right, folks. It's the brain. Yes. The brain was just a lot more of a fun ride. It actually had a bit of a better budget, which you can't blame the terror within for. I think it did well with what it had, but I think if you're going to rip off Alien, you better do it well. Kind of ripped off Nightmare on Elm Street, but made it their own. And I am here for it. So I salute you, the brain. Well done, sir. You get a pat on the back for me. Fight! 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 Well, there you have it, folks. That was a thrilling competition, was it? Now, I know I was more biased against one than the other, but I just call it how I call it, all right? Screw you. Did you like my verdict? Do you agree with me? Do you actually think the terror within is very understated and should be given more props? Or do you think the brain is always going to be the best winner because it's a lot more interesting and a lot more fun? Did you like the look of the creatures? Which one did you find scarier? Please, guys, come on. Comment, like, share, do all that jazz. Or you can just sit there scratching whatever part of your body you want to and maybe sniff it afterwards, just like Dimitri does and has been doing this whole time. Yeah, can you not do that, mate? I can smell it from here. Thank you all for coming. Please drum along next time. That's been Ray Fandango's Top Trumps, and yeah, I just want to say stay weird.